Good morning, Pak Donaldi.
Hello, good
Hello,
morning,
good
Carol,
morning.
Marisa.
Hi, thank you so much for
Hi.
joining us this morning, Pak Donaldi. So, Pak,
Sure.
are we seeing the worst case of heat wave in history, or is this just a cycle of the climate that we're used to, Pak?
Yeah. So as we see in the news in the internet, we see that heat wave is becoming frequent, more frequent,
Yes.
especially in the northern hemisphere, like U.S. and right now it's just in Europe. So actually, heat wave has been happen in the past, right? But what we see now, the frequency, the intensity are getting higher, and this is likely due to the climate change because climate change is caused by the warming of the temperature, and it's directly increase the temperature, uh, but at the same time it's also increasing the extreme event. I mean, in the past it seems like it just happened one or two in a year, but
Yeah.
now it's becoming more frequent. Yeah.
Right. And Pak Donaldi, ABC News was actually reporting that if we want to see what's going on with this climate change, especially this extreme heat, we have to look at the Arctic for another explanation to why extreme heat will occur more often, because the North Pole is warming faster than the rest of the planet, therefore reducing the difference in temperature between the equator and North Pole, and because of the atmospheric patterns of the jet stream. Does this that causes the heat waves, and what other factors that you can share with us, Pak Donaldi?
Yeah, actually, the the heat wave is more like the mid latitude events. I mean, it's normal happen in Europe, in US, and that's basically due to the global wind circulation that we know as a jet stream. So this kind of jet stream is always move in daily or even a weekly time scales. Sometimes it causes a heat wave right now during the summer, but during the winter it caused the cold wave. Maybe we heard that as well during the December, January, February.
Right.
But some research shows that during the warming temperature, I mean the warming world, this kind of event is getting intense, and we can also see by the Arctic sea ice is getting less and less during the summer, and this kind of event will continue more in the future.
Right. As we see, European nations are currently seeing heat waves reaching over 40 degrees Celsius. Earlier this year, we've seen a similar heat wave in India. Is there a possibility that Indonesia and the region will experience similar things?
Uh, yeah, as I said that right now in the northern hemisphere experience the summertime. It's usually have a drier conditions and heat wave right now. Even like in England, they have produced the warning that it will be very extreme for the heat wave and then also the impact. And like in India, like last month, we see that the temperature is also much higher than the normal conditions. But if we see these countries are in the northern hemisphere, I mean in the mid latitude. Heat wave is doesn't usually use occur in the tropical region like Indonesia because we have a lot of ocean. I mean, usually heat wave are associated with the dry condition. When you have the soil moistures are getting dry during the first heat wave, for examples, and then for the next heat wave, the soil is already dry. So that's why we feel like a heat stroke or heat wave. But in Indonesia, we are surrounded by the oceans, so the heat will evaporate the water vapor. We still feel hot, but not it's different like a heat wave that occurred in the northern hemisphere.
Yeah, so Pak Donaldi, it is extremely, we are very worried, especially in our friends and also people in the Northern Hemisphere. Well, how do you predict this phenomenon? Do you think it's going to, as we know, summer usually lasted about 3 to 4 months. Do you think this heat waves and extreme weather will hit in the Northern Hemisphere throughout the summer? Or this is just going to be very fluctuative? And do you think that this is going to get more severe if we're not going to do something about it?
Yeah, that's also the concern that more scientists in the world. I mean, usually it just happens in terms like a few days, right? But the study shows that during the warmer condition, this kind of heat wave will stay in some location for longer. I mean, it used to be like maybe few days, and then the heat wave is just moving, but now it can stay longer. It may be weeks. I think like in France now they experience like for about 2 weeks of this kind of heat waves. So this is also related with the definition of heat wave itself. I mean, to be considered as a heat wave, it has to be happen, let's say, for more than 5 days, for example, for this kind of high temperature conditions. Yeah.
Right. We also have this graphic that we're going to show you on screen about the air humidity in Indonesia. Graphic up. There you go. Now, in this graphic, it shows that each picture has a different image of humidity. Could you please explain this graphic to us, Pak?
Yes, so this figures is actually produced by the ECMWF. That is one of the climate center that produce the weather predictions and climate prediction as well. On the left side, that is the first 10 days of July,
Yes.
which means the 10 days we do the average, and the figure shows the relative humidity. So if we have more blue, means more humid. So that's why we experience like last week we have a very heavy rainfall over Java. So that's why we have very blue conditions. And on the right one, that is the prediction for the second 10 days of July, which is maybe the second 10 days of July. And we can still see also that the humidity will still high, and that's why what I said, that even we experience the warm condition, but we still have more humid condition.
Right, so we're so blessed to live right here in Indonesia. To that said, which regions in Indonesia are considered too prone to extreme heat, Pak Donaldi?
Yeah, Indonesia is very complex in terms of topography and the local condition as well. So, in general, there is some global phenomena like El Nino, La Nina that is influence our conditions. I mean, during El Nino, usually we have a warmer temperature, and during La Nina, we have a wet condition like now.
Yeah.
But right now, we are in the La Nina condition. But in some area, that very strict to the topography, like in Palu, in East Center Sulawesi, it's always have a high temperature condition. That's because it's between two high mountains, right? So this kind of condition it will be also important. And the area like in the east and west of Nusa Tenggara, that's also one of the Indonesian area that prone to extreme heat, and also in some urban area like in Jakarta, Surabaya, because urban area also have their mechanism to produce what we call as a urban heat island. So that's why we feel more hotter or
Yeah.
in city in Jakarta, for example.
Right. Pak Donaldi, um, we know that all of this extreme weather happening all over the world is because of climate change. From your point of view, what sort of ways of life or mode of life that we need to modify in order to stop the temperature from increasing on Earth?
Yeah, I think this kind of question is have been asked for many times. As I said, the climate change is already happened. I mean,
Yeah.
the main cause is the greenhouse gases, especially the carbon dioxide and any other gases. And once these gases up to the atmosphere, it will stay, and it will stay for a certain time. It can be 100 years. So it means that even we stop our uh, fossil fuel burning or something, the gas will still there. I mean, we need to, but still we still have to do the to reduce
Prevention.
our
Yeah.
right. Yeah, we have to reduce our greenhouse gases by maybe moving to the renewable energy, and then plant more trees, and then yeah, try to. I think that can be start from ourselves.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is the homework for everybody, isn't
Yeah.
it? It's not that we humans don't know
Right.
what we need to do, but are we doing it fast enough?
Right. And
You know?
Right. And this we've been talking
Exactly.
about this since the beginning of our show, right? It seems that climate change is not on the way. It's already right here in our house. It's already giving causes and the aftermath and the baggage that is coming along with it. Now we're seeing the aftershock because of it, you know, and this is because of our fault too. We've been just talking about this. This has been discussed 7 decades ago, 70 years ago, but now we have, this is the fruition of it. Now, one of the global phenomenon that we, Marissa and I, would like to talk about also that affects Indonesia is La Nina, Pa Donaldi. So we've been, it has occurred in our country for the past 3 years. Do you predict that we're going to see La Nina again for years to come, or is there any shift, or we're going to see a more positive note in regards to this phenomenon, Pa Donaldi?
Yeah. Yeah, actually, the 3 consecutive years of La Nina doesn't happen often in the past. I mean, the last time that we have is in 2000, 2001, 2002, I think, and then the previous one is about 1971, 72, 73. So even last year or last 2 years, we didn't predict that this El Nino will happen in the 3 years. I mean, this kind of phenomena, I mean, the one that used to be rare in the past, it becoming more frequent in the future. And we know that the impact of La Nina is we will have more rainfall. As I said, right now, even we used to be in the dry season right now, like in
Yeah.
July, August, but we experience heavy rainfall just like last week.
Yeah.
Right.
So it's hard to explain to people because some people will still thinking this is the dry season, but
Yeah.
now the rainfall is still there.
Yeah.
Time has changed.
Indeed, indeed. I mean,
Right.
with all of the natural disasters that we're experiencing around the world right now, really, it has to make us think. It has
Yeah.
to make us act faster in changing the way we live
Yes.
somehow. Because, yeah, I don't know. I don't want to think that we're doomed, but, with the current pace,
Yeah.
I can't help but think that we kind of are. But anyway, on a lighter note, Pa Donaldi, I don't mean to bring the conversation down or in a somber mood, into a somber mood. We would like to congratulate you and your team on the 75th anniversary
Right.
of BMKG. So
Congratulations.
Congratulations. Happy anniversary.
Thank
So what does this mean? What does this mean to you and your team, this 75th anniversary?
Yeah, actually, today is just with our 75th anniversary of BMKG. So now we try to increase our services to people. I mean, we try to make our best and increase our accuracy and timely produce the information. I think that is one of our purposes, and we try to increase our human resources as well because this kind of climate and weather is becoming global. So I mean, countries didn't divide it the countries area, but it's just one global atmosphere.
Absolutely.
And yeah, now we have a ceremony to celebrate this anniversary and maybe a series of competitions like table tennis here and yeah, Chris.
Ah, that's very nice. But again, of course, on behalf of Marissa and I and also our team, thank you for your service, Pa Donaldi, and your team. You're giving us a lot of data
Thank
and
you.
statistics that would alert the people, especially during these hard times with natural disasters and extremes weather
Sure.
that is happening, not only in Indonesia, but also around the world. Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you. Have a good
Thank
celebration.
you.
Bye for now.
Enjoy.
Stay
Okay.
safe.
Thank you. Bye bye.
Bye,
See
Padonaldi.
you.